Hello.
Hi.
24.2. Here we go.
Boom.
What's the workout?
20-minute AMRAP, 300-meter row for both, 10 deadlifts, 185 for the guys, 125 for the girls, and then 50 double unders.
Mm-hmm. Scaled version?
Same thing, except 135.95 on the deadlift and single skips.
Mm-hmm. Still 300 meters, no matter what. Every gender is rowing 300 meters.
Yeah.
So time domain, long.
Long.
Demand on the posterior chain, high.
Yeah.
Demand on the cardiorespiratory endurance and the metabolic conditioning,
Also high.
also high.
Yeah.
So
This is just pure engine.
yeah.
And so difference from the first one in that the first one was much more of a sprint, quote unquote, whereas the high level people were 5.5 minutes, more sprinty. This one, it's just like, how long can you grind? So I think it's good. I think it's a really good workout.
Yeah.
It's all stuff that we do all the time. You know, we do plenty of rowing. We've been doing a buffalo of double unders lately. That's how a dash says instead of butt load. We've been doing a buffalo of double unders lately. And then it's a good weight as far as deadlift goes. It's like a very safe, you know, manageable weight for most people.
So now's the time to try it.
Yeah.
If you can move the load reasonably safely, even if it's slow singles for you, if you can hack your way through double unders at all, do it.
Yeah.
If you cannot, then there's the scaled option for you, but that's just kind of fun in the open. Over and over and over last week, I heard people be like, I've never done that dumbbell before. And I didn't think I would finish, or I thought it would be way harder. And that's what I love about the open is it just pushes you to try something you wouldn't normally do. And AMRAP certainly the time to try it.
Yeah. So we just watched Justin and Colton do the workout, and they both finished 10 rounds, and we can learn a lot from that.
That we, normal humans, will not be getting 10 rounds.
Here's what you need to learn. So they were maintaining a 1:45 pace on the row, and they are two of the fittest people on the planet. If you are a random person from Saskatchewan that works out 3 or 4 times a week, and maybe it's your first open, and your first round, you're doing a 1:45 pace, you're going to be in trouble.
You're making a mistake.
Yeah.
What if it's your 14th open and you're still just some random person from Saskatchewan?
I would still say it's a mistake. So I think here's like strategy wise, it's all about resting, like choosing to rest before rest chooses you, right? So it's a 20-minute workout. That's a long time. The biggest mistake you can make in these 20-minute workouts is to start super fast and then fall off from there.
Get yourself in a hole you can't get out of.
Yeah, because you will spend way more time standing around or resting with your hands on your knees and trying to catch your breath than you would ever make up by going fast on the row to start. So it should be a challenging pace because it's 300 meters. That's much more manageable than 500, but it needs to be a pace that you can maintain consistently through the duration of the workout. So for me, if I was to do one 500-meter row at 1:45, I'd be pretty tired afterwards. Yeah. I'm probably going to try to shoot for like 1:55, maybe even 2 minutes, right? Because I know even pushing like a 1:50 versus a 1:55, that 5 seconds I make up on the row could easily be lost by resting on your double unders or your deadlifts. So you don't, like the high level people win it on the row, but us normies, you win it by being consistent throughout the whole workout.
Not resting. And considering it's only 300 meters, that's even less seconds that it matters.
For sure.
Like the 5 second pace difference is 3 seconds of actual time.
Yeah.
I always like to minimize my transition times so that I don't have to actually work any faster. I just spend less time fucking around.
Right.
So on a short row like this, I would not touch the straps throughout the entire workout. I would not bother getting my feet in, cranking the straps, getting myself all wiggled in, and then rowing. Just make sure the straps are just loose enough that you can slide your feet in, have your hands on the handle as your bum is plopping in the seat and your feet are going in. You're already pulling.
Right.
Same thing on the way out. You're hooking it up. You can get your feet in and out without having to touch anything about your feet.
Yeah.
The judge will take care of resetting the monitor, so you also don't have to do any pushing of buttons or anything.
Right.
And then just get off there and get your hands on the barbell
and
just get moving. If it's 1 at a time, 5 at a time, 10 at a time, depending on your capacity to move that kind of weight, just go and try not to lose so many seconds on the transitions. Do yourself a favor. I'll always try to preach this as a habit. Lay your skipping rope out nicely. We saw Colton Martins lose time to having his skipping rope all tangled up on his feet. Lay it out nicely. We also saw Justin Medeiros lose a little bit of time he was obviously counting in his head, but the judge had the count at 2 less and made him come back from the rower and do 2 more double unders and then carry on. So listen to your judge. Kudos to you. Like you said, we've been doing all this stuff in the programming. Yeah. So if you've been showing up reasonably consistently, you're well prepared for this.
For sure.
We've been practicing double unders a ton. I've been saying to people, I don't like to talk in the negative of like tons of things not to do, but being good at double unders is just a list of things not to do.
Yeah.
Don't pike your hips. Don't tuck your knees. Don't tense up your shoulders and spin your whole arms. You just need to take all that extra stuff out of there. Relax your shoulders, light and bouncy on the calves, spinny at the wrists, and that's it.
Yeah.
No excess movement. And then I've also been telling people, if you know that you'll do the scaled version in the open, practice your single unders and practice them fast so that it drives your judge crazy in the open when they have to count them because you're so good at quick, fast singles. So get ready to get those counting eyeballs warmed up.
This will be one of those workouts where the scaled scores are higher than the RX scores just because single unders are easier and faster. Mm-hmm. Not like at a high level, right? Obviously, it's very hard to get 10 rounds just with the rows. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing double unders, chances are you're going to be more fatigued than if you're doing single unders. Mm-hmm. So we've seen it in the past where the people that do choose to do the scaled version will often have an extra round or 2 over the people that do the RX. Mm-hmm. As far as like pacing and strategy goes, for the high level people, like we kind of said, it's all about transitions. It's all about, if you're going to go unbroken on the sets, it's how fast can you maintain a pace on the row? Mm-hmm. And then you're going to go unbroken on everything else, right? It's like transitions and row time. Mm-hmm. For the people that can't go unbroken, it's going to be managing things early. And again, resting before you need to, right? So if this is a weight for you, like for me, this isn't a hard weight, but it's not an easy weight either. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking us normal people, we'll be looking at 5 to 7 rounds kind of thing. For me to do 7 sets of 10 unbroken on that weight, I don't think I could.
Especially in combo with the pulling and the hinging on the rower. Yeah. That's a heavy posterior chain movement. So expect the old hammies to be a little more fatigued than they would if they were combined with something else.
For sure. You're coming off the row, going straight into another hip hinge. So going to be very tough. So for me, I'm probably going to go 2 sets the whole time just to give myself that extra little bit of time to take a breath. And then double unders as well. Like I could do 50 at a time, but if I choose to, will I start to take bigger breaks when I do start to miss? So again, I might go 30-20 or whatever. So you kind of have to think like, what is the most maintainable pace I can do where I'm not going to fall off? So be smart, break things up early on if you know you need to. And then those of you that are very good at double unders and are very comfortable with the weights, it's all transition time and row speed.
Yeah. And just try to get this one right the first time.
Yeah.
Someone asked me, we didn't specifically address it this year, like, can you repeat an open workout? We used to say absolutely not. A couple years ago, we kind of eased up on it. And as a joke sort of thing that you can repeat it, but if you do worse, you have to donate to a charity you hate so that there was some incentive. Because many, many times in the open, we've seen people repeat the workout to do worse or get the exact same score. Yeah. So if you really screwed it up and you want another chance at it, and you go for it, you got to make arrangements for your own judge and at a time that, works for us before the scores are due on Monday night.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to squeeze out one more or one less rep to do all that extra work, 20 minutes and this much hinging, this is not one that you would want to do over on. Let's get this one right the first time.
Yeah. So I think Seth had it right. The word for this is ass, because your ass is going to be very sore. Your ass and your hamstrings are going to be fried. The combination of rowing and deadlifts together is very tough, and you're spending most of your time there. The double unders are very short. So yeah, it's basically all engine, this workout. Mm-hmm.
And your ability to maintain neutral spine through this much hinging and not ruin your rest of your week.
And so when watching those high level guys, like I think Justin just did a powerlifting meet and he probably deadlifted like 500 and whatever pounds, right? So for them, this is like barely a warm up weight. So you saw them hinging quite quickly and not super flat back the whole time. It was more just like speed. For the rest of us that like, this is a challenging weight. The worst thing you can do is like just start rounding your back to go faster. Yeah. Like it's just not worth it. You're going to have some fatigue. So take the time to set up strong and set your back. And then to save effort, save energy, don't just slowly lower the bar. You want to like half drop, half lower so that you're able to go down quickly and right back up again and use that kind of stretch reflex out of the bottom to sort of like tap the ground. Just remember that if you bend your elbows and pound the bar into the ground, that's bouncing. That's not allowed. That's a no rep. So hip hinge, arms stay straight. But if you can kind of bounce off the ground at the bottom, it's going to save some effort.
And if things got real dicey towards the end, you can always go to the old
Yeah.
pull the parachute, one and drop
Yeah.
thing. Can't catch the bar off the bounce, but
Yeah.
that's an option. Should
Drop
things
singles.
Drop singles. Could,
Yeah.
if things get real bad. So check your skipping rope.
Yes.
Make sure everything's all tightened up and everything. We have a couple, if you have an RPM rope, we have a couple of little Allen keys at the gym. Make sure everything's good and ready to go so you don't have things flying apart in the middle of the open and you're like, my rope exploded. Make sure, the old hammies are warmed up and ready to go. We're going to bring a couple extra rowers, the ones from our house, to the gym. So they'll be available in the warm-up area. Make sure you've done like a good solid warm-up, ramped up the body temperature, got the tissues warmed up, ready to hinge and move well.
Yeah. And then just pace yourself in a realistic manner. If you're shooting for 10 rounds and you are not a high caliber athlete, like that is a very difficult pace to maintain. You saw Justin was struggling quite a bit towards the end there on that last row. So I think for, like we saw, how high level athletes will be that 10, 11 round range. And then most people will be kind of more like the 5 to 7 sort of range.
And given the row distance is the same for the men and the women, I think we'll see the women being slightly less.
Yeah.
Just because average pace for a female athlete is just slower than the average pace for a male athlete. So girls will be doing slightly less. But then, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take that back.
Yeah, you never know. Girls
know.
are crazy out there nowadays. There's many girls in our gym that row faster than me. So
Yeah. I said like average, Are there very fit girls that are better than an intermediate male? For sure.
For sure.
It's not two separate groups, but an overlapping thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, good workout. Look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll be doing heat times 4:30, 5:30, 6:30 because it's a longer workout. We need time for the reset.
Yeah.
Make sure you are familiar with the workout and the standards for all divisions because no matter what, you will be doing your workout, but also counting for someone else. So make sure you're ready for that.
And now that we've seen 2 hinging movements back to back, guess what that means next week's going to happen? You're squatting next week.
We're going below parallel.
Some version of squatting, probably thrusters.
Something involving a pull-up bar.
But yeah, next week we're going to see a pull-up bar and we're going to see probably some sort of squat.
That sounds like Fran.
Weird. They never do that.
They never do that. All right. Good luck, everyone. See you tomorrow.
See you guys.